Hello? My name is Alex, your digital presenter for today's event. Before we dive into the exciting and informative content we've prepared for you, here's a quick disclaimer. I'm actually an artificial intelligence, AI, designed and programmed to assist with sharing valuable knowledge and resources. I am here to provide evidence-based, up-to-date information and guidance, and will share real stories from my colleagues at FND. Here at FND, we value honesty and transparency in all our interactions. The Family Network on Disabilities believes that incredible technological advancements such as AI can significantly enhance our ability to provide families with the resources, support, and information they need. All the information in this training comes from the dedicated team of experts at FND. They have years of experience, a rich understanding, and most importantly, a deep passion for supporting families like yours. Welcome to our presentation. We are glad you are here. Before we begin, I'd like to share a little bit about Family Network on Disabilities. Family Network on Disabilities started in 1985 by a group of parents of children with disabilities who came together looking for mutual support. FND is a grassroots organization for persons with disabilities and their families that is family-centered and family-driven. What makes FND unique is that the majority of our board members, our management staff, and program staff are either individuals with experience with a disability or have family members with a disability, which gives us the perspective of empathy and compassion for the work that we do. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization helping families across the state. We're funded in part by the U.S. Department of Education and the U.S. Department of Health through the Health Resources Services Administration. We use all that funding to provide information, resources, support, and training to families, educators, professionals, and providers throughout the state. We do not charge for our services. At this time, we would like to make a disclaimer that we at FND are not attorneys, doctors, or mental health professionals. We do not offer legal or medical advice in our workshops. We are happy to support you with information, resources, and support. We use research-based information in our training and materials. Today we'll discuss Beginning the Journey Part 1. So let's get started. Today, our main focus will be on the 3 parts encompassing Beginning the Journey of IDEA. IDEA stands for the Individuals with Disabilities Act. It comprises 4 parts, A, B, C, and D. Our funding actually originates from Part D of the IDEA, while Part C outlines the rights of children aged from birth to 3 years old. We will delve into the concept of early steps, which serves as our early intervention provider in the state of Florida. Additionally, we'll explore the procedural safeguards you are entitled to as a family. These safeguards ensure you have the right to be informed and aware of all the proceedings related to your child's situation. Let's discuss how early intervention services are funded. As mentioned earlier, the Individuals with Disabilities Act, IDEA, comprises 4 parts, with Part C specifically addressing the age range from birth through 36 months. This is where the funding originates to support the Early Steps programs that provide essential early intervention services. What is early intervention? Early intervention, or EI, refers to the services extended to eligible infants and toddlers between birth and 36 months who experience significant delays or possess conditions likely to lead to developmental delays. The aim of early intervention is to provide support to families and caregivers, empowering them to effectively foster their child's learning and growth. As parents, there isn't an instruction manual for raising a child, regardless of whether the child has a disability. It's not like parents return from the hospital with a guidebook on how to navigate parenthood. This is the same for families of children who have disabilities that are identifiable from a very young age. Why is early intervention of utmost significance? Let's share a quote from Shonkoff and Phillips. During the first 3 years of life, the brain undergoes dramatic development as a child acquires the ability to think, speak, learn, and reason. This statement emphasizes that early intervention is vital in nurturing your children during their formative years. By engaging in proactive efforts with your young ones, you increase the likelihood of bridging potential gaps resulting from developmental delays in the future. The 0 to 3 website further informs us that a child's brain experiences an astonishing period of growth from birth to 3, forming over 1 million neural connections each second. We've all heard the importance of reading and talking to our children, with some even beginning this interaction while the child is still in the womb. This underscores the continuation of these practices through early intervention efforts. What are the key areas of development for a child? We observe 5 fundamental areas of development in children. The first area is cognitive development, involving learning and growth in the frontal part of the brain. The second area pertains to physical development, which often involves reaching milestones such as sitting up and turning over. Thirdly, communicational development is significant, encompassing the emergence of a child's first words and ability to string phrases together to communicate effectively. The fourth area is social-emotional development, a continual process that extends well into the early 20s when an individual's brain reaches full maturity. Lastly, there is adaptive development, which revolves around how your child copes with various situations, thinks on their feet, demonstrates resilience, and navigates their environment. These 5 areas constitute the crucial aspects of child development. A child may qualify for early intervention services, which in Florida is provided through the Early Steps program. This eligibility is determined if the child has a developmental delay, is at risk of a developmental delay, or has a physical or mental condition. Specific disabilities like Down syndrome, spina bifida, cerebral palsy, Williams syndrome, and others are usually identifiable right after birth, and doctors can make referrals to Early Steps accordingly. However, there are cases where a child may have potential risks or slight delays that are not immediately evident. People might attribute such delays to normal variations between boys' and girls' development. Still, it's essential to consult a pediatrician and assess whether the child is meeting their developmental milestones appropriately. If the child is younger than 36 months and has concerns, the pediatrician can refer the family to an Early Steps provider to address these issues. Today's workshop aims to provide information and guidance on these matters. In Florida, the approach to early intervention is centered around families and executed through a team-based approach. This team works in close collaboration with you and provides support in your natural environment. This aspect often surprises families when they move out of Early Steps and, if suitable, opt for pre-KESE services when their child turns 3. At that point, all services and interventions occur within an educational or preschool setting. However, before that change, the focus remains on the child's natural environment, including their home, the park, the grocery store, or even the grandparents' house if they are co-caregivers. The family receives necessary support in these settings, including educating grandparents about the child's delays and interventions. The primary goal is to meet families where they are, both in their physical, learning, and playing environments. The objective is to create appropriate learning opportunities during playtime, a vital aspect of early childhood development. Who can initiate a referral to Early Steps and what are the associated costs? Pediatricians are often the primary source of referrals. During routine checkups after childbirth, they assess whether the child is meeting developmental markers, usually at the 1 week, 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, and 9 month milestones. However, referrals can also originate from various other individuals. For instance, your child care center may raise concerns if they notice any developmental delays in your child. Friends who have experienced the program may also suggest it. It's essential to know that referral is entirely voluntary and no charges are involved. Regardless of income, anyone can access Early Steps services without any cost. There are no income limitations. It doesn't matter if a family earns $150,000 a year or $15,000 a year. The crucial factor for eligibility is whether the child has a delay or is at risk, making them eligible for Early Steps support. What is the process for entering the Early Steps system? Let's explore the steps involved. The first step is to receive a referral, which serves as the initial contact. A representative from Early Steps will contact you to conduct a brief intake and gather necessary information. After the initial contact, you will schedule an evaluation assessment called an IFSP meeting, otherwise known as the Individualized Family Service Plan. The evaluation is aimed at assessing your child's developmental needs and creating a plan tailored to their requirements. Early Steps will make 3 attempts to reach you by phone regarding the initial contact. If they cannot connect with you after 3 tries, they will consider their obligation fulfilled. However, if you decide later on to revisit the process and initiate the first contact phase again, you have the flexibility to do so. Many regions have transitioned to virtual platforms like Zoom, Google Meets, or Teams. These platforms allow for virtual meetings on various devices like phones, tablets, and laptops. To get accurate and up-to-date information on meetings, it's essential to check with your specific county or visit the Early Steps website. It is crucial to know that the initial assessment will be conducted by a multidisciplinary team comprising highly qualified personnel. Their objective is to determine your child's eligibility for early step services. Depending on your child's specific needs, this team may include specialists such as an occupational therapist, an infant mental health psychologist, or other professionals. For example, an occupational therapist may assess movement, while an infant mental health psychologist may evaluate behavioral aspects. You need to understand that you have the right to receive the assessments, evaluations, and interpretations in a language you can comprehend. This ensures that you are fully informed and involved in the decision-making process concerning your child's development and the services they may need. The primary goal of the assessment is to identify your child's strengths and needs, while also evaluating the existing and potential resources available to your family. The purpose is to explore the various support options that can be utilized simultaneously. For instance, early steps might be just one part of the support system, and you may decide to include private occupational therapy in conjunction with it. Similarly, if your child is closer to 36 months and facing eating issues, you might seek assistance from organizations specializing in feeding therapy. Ultimately, the assessment aims to enhance your family's capacity to care for your child and minimize delays as effectively as possible. By understanding your child's unique requirements and available resources, the assessment helps identify strategies and interventions to support their development optimally. In the Individualized Family Support Plan, or IFSP process, a wide range of information is gathered, including demographic and family details, health history, genetic factors, and insurance information. Developmental screenings are also conducted. During the meeting, you will coordinate the services your child requires based on the assessment and eligibility discussed in the previous slide. The outcome of the IFSP will involve establishing specific goals and strategies to aid your child's development. The services recommended will be tailored to help achieve these goals effectively. Before your child turns 36 months or reaches their third birthday, there will be a discussion about moving them out of the early step services. This move could involve either discontinuing services altogether or helping them move into Part B, the public school system, catering to children from 3 to 12th grade or potentially longer, as IDEA can extend to age 26. This process might seem overwhelming, and feeling that way is entirely understandable. Many individuals may be involved in supporting and assisting you during this journey, and it's essential to know who these people are. You will have a service coordinator, often called a PSC, to guide you through the process. An infant-toddler developmental specialist, ITDS, will also join the team. Getting acquainted with the acronyms early on is valuable, and we have a helpful resource on our website, a 2-pager called The Alphabet Soup of Special Education, which explains the meanings of various acronyms. Additionally, a family resource specialist will be available to support you. Depending on your child's needs, a speech and language pathologist may be involved in enhancing language development and initiation. Furthermore, depending on your child's specific requirements, physical therapists or occupational therapists might be involved. The professionals are there to work together, providing comprehensive support to your child and family. Early intervention is most effective when conducted in the child's natural environment. Involvement starts at home, emphasizing the significance of incorporating supportive measures from infancy. While some children with significant delays might benefit from an educational setting like a separate self-contained class or school, incorporation from an early age is essential. By promoting involvement during the first few years of life, children with disabilities and their families become more accustomed to participating in regular life experiences. This exposure to typical everyday activities is crucial for the child's development and the family's adaptation. It's essential to recognize that disability is a regular part of human variety. Approximately 10% of the world's population has a disability, and the range of disabilities is vast. The term disability should not be viewed negatively, as it simply represents one aspect of human variation. Embracing and acknowledging disability as a regular part of life fosters a compassionate world. Every year, you can expect to undergo an annual review of your child's development, covering all the domains we previously discussed. This review involves examining existing evaluations, assessments, and notes from the team that has been supporting your child. During the review, the team will assess whether your child has achieved their goals and milestones. Based on this assessment, they will determine whether your child will be dismissed from early intervention or if further support is required. You must know that this formal assessment will occur at least once a year to monitor your child's progress and make informed decisions about their ongoing intervention. We discussed procedural safeguards earlier in this workshop, and while they are crucial, they can be pretty technical and dry. However, at F&D, we've made it our mission to simplify and make this information more accessible to parents. On our website, www.fndusa.org, under the Resources page, you can find a section called ESE Downloadable Resources. It offers over sections to explore, including information on Part C and procedural safeguards, presented in a parent-friendly format without compromising the essential legal details. You, as a parent, have certain rights that must be protected. These include confidentiality, as your medical information shared with Early Steps requires explicit permission for disclosure to other providers. You have the right to review your child's records at any time. Prior written notice is essential, as Early Steps should invite you to meetings, providing details of results and information in your native language. Parental consent is vital during evaluations and assessments, and you must be an active participant, fully aware of the process and the actions being taken. If the child is a ward of the state, has a surrogate parent, or has someone appointed by the overseeing judge, whoever assumes the same rights and responsibilities as a birth parent to ensure the child receives the necessary early intervention services through Early Steps. If you disagree with your team, there are procedures for mediation, complaint resolution, and due process hearings. Collaboration and communication are highly encouraged, and if you need assistance in effectively communicating with your Early Steps team, please reach out to us. Our office can connect you to an appropriate parent trainer in your region if you call the toll-free number provided at the end of this video. Here you can see our F&D family. These are the programs housed under the Family Network on Disabilities. Each program provides a unique service to a specific population. There are 3 PTI programs funded by the U.S. Department of Education through the Office of Special Education Programs. Poppin serves North Florida, PSN serves Southwest Florida, and Penn serves Southeast Florida. The Family Star program, funded by the U.S. Department of Health under the Health Resources Services Administration, supports families of youth with special health care needs. F&D houses the parent-to-parent program called P2P, which connects trained volunteer support parents with other parents to provide social and emotional support. F&D also has a special needs trust, where we provide families with information regarding creating and supporting a special needs trust. Here you can also see all of our socials. Make sure to follow us for the most up-to-date information and resources. You can reach us to help you and your family by calling 800-825-5736 and letting us know your needs. You'll be assigned to a staff person who can support you. Visit our website for valuable resources and more information. Did you like this presentation or our assistance? Please leave us a review. It helps us connect with more families like yours. We want to thank you for spending this time with us during this presentation. We look forward